From Screen Junkie Studios in the heart of Los Angeles, this is Screen Junkies Movie Fights. Now your host, Andy Signore. Today's episode is brought to you by the new Samsung Chromebook Plus, the first Chromebook made for Google Play.
What's up, guys? Welcome to an awesome episode of Movie Fights. I'm so happy to be here because we have three amazing competitors, and we're all going to talk about some Spider-Man topics and some other stuff. But in honor of Homecoming coming up, we have one of the cast members himself here to talk about it, and two amazing fighters to go against him. Stuff including best Spider-Man performance, best scene in a Spider-Man movie, but then also non-Spider-Man stuff like we had what was the one? What movie? If you have someone that you know is the one, what movie do you want them to say they love? Also, if in honor of all these TV shows happening from Coen Brothers, David Lynch, who do you want to see make a TV series? Lots of fun stuff, so stay tuned. Let's get right to our competitors. I'm so happy to introduce back to the show. So happy to have her, the Red Fury herself. Plus, you have your book I'm so excited to talk about, Backwards and Heels, coming out, The Past and Present, the Future of Women Working in Film. It's coming out this August, yes?
Yeah, I'm so excited. My first book coming
Alicia
out
Malone.
in August. Hi. And you can pre-order on Amazon, but I feel like I've made a huge mistake going up on a Spider-Man question with an actor from Spider-Man.
Hey, the Red Fury feels like a Spider-Man character, so just use it, embrace it.
She could be.
Yeah, you're going to do great. I'm so excited to have you, and congrats on the book. I'm so happy. I know all our fans have already been buying it, but if you haven't, go pre-order one now. Next up, guys, he's from Grand Budapest Hotel. You've seen him in Dope, and now you can see him playing Flash Thompson in the upcoming Spider-Man Homecoming. Tony Revolori!
Hi. Sorry, pre-ordering the book right now.
Aww. Tony, I saw the movie, and you're fantastic.
Thank you.
And the movie's fantastic. Isn't that a sigh of relief? You go in a little bit sometimes like, man, if this sucks.
Oh, no. I read the script so long ago that I knew that it was going to be great, and it's Marvel, and it's fantastic.
It's also Sony.
It is also Sony.
Which they did great in this.
They did do fantastic. Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige did a great job. I was worried because I'm, short and brown and not tall and blonde. Which is what my character looks like in the comics. But people seem to be really liking it.
You play a real ass. It's good. You do a great job at it. But then a likable one.
Yeah,
you come around.
It's like we want to have some room to grow.
Yes, Penis Parker. Oh, get excited. It's a lot of fun, and it was so fun seeing you in there watching this awesome. I mean, it's epic. Like it's hard. This is a Marvel movie to its core.
It was so weird for me though because I shot all the high school stuff and then they shot all the Spider-Man stuff, so when I saw the movie for the first time, I'm like, oh, right, this is a Spider-Man movie. There's action.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I want to spoil it, but that scene on the Washington Monument, man, ooh, I just wanted to punch you. But excited. I know fans are excited to see it. They're going to have a blast with it. Thank you for coming. Yeah. So happy to have her back. She's the host of Millennial Falcon Weekly on Screen Junkies. So happy to have Jenny Nicholson. Hey, Jenny.
Hey.
Nice Spider-Man sweater and top. Wow.
Yeah,
I know.
Totally thematic.
I know. I think I'm already going to win just based on this. Neither of them.
Based on attire, I give you the points.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I'm going to take that and run with it so the episode is over. I won already.
Yes. Well, there you go, guys. Step it up.
Bye.
But so you're a Spider-Man fan. I know you're like the original trilogy.
Yeah, exactly. Tobey Maguire is like,
He's
if
your
I could meet
Spider-Man.
any actor, it'd be Tobey Maguire, not to like spoil my answer for the upcoming question. Maybe I don't like him. We don't know.
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see.
Maybe
Anything
this
could
is a
happen.
mind game. I love it.
Yeah, I'm psyching you out.
Well, I'm so excited. Millennial Falcons on SJ News, and we've recently announced soon to be on Screen Junkies Maine, coming soon on the weekends. In a couple weeks, we have some fun stuff. Max Landis is going to come by. You're going to be at D23 talking about Star Wars and Disney stuff. So I'm so happy that you've been doing it. The show's really funny. Check it out.
It is.
And yes, please go support that show. It's a lot of fun. Fact checking today, as always, Mr. Dan Merle.
Hi. I hope people can hear me. I'm doing.
I know
a weird
we're a
thing.
little thrown off with some tech issues. I can't hear.
If you don't, to give credit to JT and everyone, they've been working very hard. If you're not seeing it on screen right now, it's broken. So that's why I'm doing this weird thing because there's a headphone thing. But yes, I'm happy to be here. I'm getting ready for this fight, which is going to be great.
Dan,
and then one next week.
Before I introduce our fans, there's something I got to do right away in the show.
Okay.
Next week, you're putting the belt on the line.
The belt is on the line.
You're going up
week.
against Fat Carlson himself, Mr. Mike Carlson.
Hashtag Botanicus.
Guess what, man?
What?
We put together an awesome promo. Should we cut a promo?
Yeah.
Let's hype this fight up.
I want to see. I legitimately haven't seen this.
All right, let's see it.
Yes.
Cue the clip.
Great.
Order versus chaos.
Henry Cavill Superman is a cold-blooded killer.
Logic versus anarchy.
Han Solo's kids became Jedis. Indiana Jones's kid became Shia LaBeouf.
Reason versus Botanicus?
He helps E.T. create a spaceship, and they grow it out of a turnip.
Dan Murrell versus Mike Carlson.
Dan is still the reoccurring champions. No one has taken him off the throne yet.
The belt is on the line, live on YouTube. That's right, anyone can watch. Thursday, July 13th, 4 p.m. Pacific. Be there. No excuses.
What?
Wow.
The
That's
live
crazy.
championship battle is going to be live on YouTube,
Live on
4 p.m.
YouTube.
Pacific next Thursday.
For the world to see.
The whole world can come. This isn't
Yes.
behind the paywalls. This is everybody can tune in. 4 p.m. live next week. Set your Siris or your Alexas, all your stuff. Make sure you set your alerts because this show is going to be insane. I'm so excited. Dan, are you nervous?
No.
All right. Well, you better be because I have a few tricks up my sleeve this show. We're going to try something new. I won't be
Something
the only
new?
one judging this one.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Well,
This
if it's
is-
live on YouTube, that's probably not a bad idea.
A lot of surprises in store live on YouTube. You are not going to want to miss this one, so I implore you all, set your reminders. 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time next Thursday,
Yeah.
live on our platforms. YouTube, come support and watch. It's going to be a blast, and I'm so excited to see what happens there. It's going to be crazy.
It's gonna be fun. I can't
Guys
wait.
on the couch, we got Tom Zambino and Devon Taylor. Welcome, guys. How excited! Too bad you were like 1 week off. Almost, but no, this is gonna be a great show.
Oh, I'm super excited.
Yeah, Tom, I've been watching you've been tweeting. Where'd you come from again? You came from
I started in Michigan, flew down to Daytona for a NASCAR race, and then flew over here.
Oh wow, you're making a full trip out of it.
Yeah, I've had an interesting week.
Yeah,
Nice.
Get excited, man. Well, welcome to LA. I'm excited, and Devon, it was good to see you. This is gonna be a lot of fun. You both are gonna have to help me today on the show. You down?
Fully prepared.
All right.
Prepared.
Good. Share that mic. We'll make sure it works. Awesome. Thank you guys for coming. Love your support, guys. If you may have read, we're going to be going down to San Diego Comic-Con for our official panel, and Screen Junkies News will be down there covering everything as well. But we're going to be at the House of Blues on July 22nd. That's Saturday. We're taking over the House of Blues for Screen Junkies Central. We're doing a one-night mega event. All of us will be there, and some surprise celebrity guests that we can't announce yet, but we'll be announcing soon. It's very exciting. So I want to make sure you guys all know that we actually had tickets available. We were going to still offer it, but we sold out in a day, even without the celebrities. So it blowed our minds. Thank you guys for supporting it all. But there's still a waiting list you can go sign up for, and we're doing a contest. Sorry, I'm making sure I have all my info because there's a lot of words here. So we have some special tickets available to purchase on site, but we're working more to add more tickets to the event. So go to screendickies.com/tickets to get on the wait list. Plus, you can RSVP for the party. We want to see everyone there. We're gonna have another crazy party last year. Were you at the party last year? You were, right?
I was,
It was
yeah.
insane. The inflatable dinosaur and all the booze. I was very drunk. But you'll be able to meet all the Screen Dickies there in San Diego. So RSVP and come party with us. And if we don't forget about our fans not in San Diego, if you don't have hotel travel, well, here's your chance. One lucky fan and a friend will win a trip to San Diego and VIP access to Screen Junkies Central. That's right, we are giving away a trip and hotels to come join us. So go to screendickies.com/SJCentral to sign up. So thanks to the new Samsung Chromebook Plus for helping us make this possible. Dan, you're using it. How awesome. Look,
I am.
there it is.
I got it.
He's
It's
got it.
Fact Machine 2.
It's so thin.
Fact
and
Maker
it's-
2000 today.
You can flip it around and
I
stuff.
can do
love
anything
it.
I want with it.
Samsung.
I mean, not anything.
I
but,
love
you
it.
know.
Chromebook Plus, thank you so much for sponsoring this and for Central and all the stuff they've been helping us with. It's wonderful. So I'm excited. Let's get this show going, shall we?
Yeah.
Hear the music.
Are you not entertained?
Let them fight.
Oh, yeah. I love that montage. Wasn't that
It
great,
was so
guys?
good.
So
I
good.
loved it.
I love
Our
being
monitor's
able to
out.
watch
It's
every
giving-
second of it.
The
best
monitor
it's
here's
ever
out.
been.
Totally throwing me. All right.
Right? Same. I want to see how
I want to
ridiculous
see everything. I
look.
can't see it. All right, let's go to round one. This one comes in from Brian Aguirre at Bryman for now. He wants to know, what is the best Spider-Man performance? And this is pretty easy. There are three
Yeah, it is easy.
basically main Spider-Men that have played so far.
Well, yeah.
And we have
There was one TV. like,
yeah, but
people-
movies.
Movies.
Three movie Spider-Men that we all know and love. And the three of you have each picked one. So let's see who you picked. Alicia, who are you picking first? Who gave the best Spider-Man performance?
Well, I'm going with a choice that's from the heart, a very heartfelt performance, and that is Andrew Garfield in The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. He really had the passion. You know, he's such a huge fan of the Spider-Man comics, and we learnt this from when he was talking about how he, I'll take this down because it's echo.
So loud.
When he auditioned for the role of Spider-Man, he turned up with a photo of himself at 4 years old, dressed up as Spider-Man. And then during the press junket, you know, he cried in interviews when he talked about putting on the suit for the first time. And that passion for the role and the comic book is really infused into the character. He also had, of course, amazing chemistry with Emma Stone. And that is one of the biggest parts of Spider-Man to me, is his relationships with his family and his love interest. And their relationship just sizzled off the screen. I also thought he really put his all into the films, and he was stuck with not the best scripts. He had to deal with some pretty junky dialogue written by the guys behind Transformers. He had to deal with some ridiculous, over-the-top villains, but he was the best part of those movies. And because he put his heart and soul into it, and he gave a great performance, despite everything he had to go up against, despite not having the might of Marvel or being the very first Spider-Man, I think he gave the best performance.
All right, good start. Tony, who are you picking?
I don't know. I'm just picking the newest incarnation, Tom Holland, who we have seen in Captain America Civil War and coming out today, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Right, and so I got to be clear,
know.
because they haven't seen it, you can't use Homecoming. You can't use your
but I can use
home
trailers.
field.
You said-
Trailers and Civil War is what we have to base this
Okay.
on.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, the thing is, Tom Holland is actually young, so he's actually the age of the character. And within the 30 minutes that he was in Civil War, people praised him being the best Spider-Man incarnation ever. Within just 30 minutes. Imagine if I had all of Homecoming. Just saying. All of you.
All right. We'll imagine, and we'll come back and hear more. Jenny, I wonder who you're picking.
It was hard to decide, but I picked Tobey Maguire. I think he is the best Spider-Man. I love his vulnerability. I think he really made that character. I know he's criticized sometimes as not being faithful to comic Spider-Man, but I'm looking at it as its own performance, its own character within the confines of that movie. And I think as far as selling it in that story, he's extremely empathetic. It makes you more exhilarated to see him when he does have those powers because you've grown to love him so much as Peter Parker. And I think if it's between getting the perfect Spider-Man and the perfect Peter Parker is the heart of it, and that's the best part to focus on, and that's what Tobey got right. So Tobey's the best, and no one will ever be better than Tobey, and that's what I'm sticking to.
You really didn't go with the rhyme?
That's it. What?
Tobey is the best and no one can protest? Really? I thought you were going to go.
I'm not Lin-Manuel Miranda, who you decided has to rap in every movie that he's in. So
Yes, he does.
All right, so now we've heard, we've got Garfield from Alicia, Holland from Tony, and Maguire from Jenny. Fight it out, guys. Why are the other two not as good?
Okay, just really quickly. Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, yes, passionate. But as for the 4-year-old photo thing, Tom Holland has a photo of him dressed as Spider-Man at 4 or 6. So
every man, woman, and child has put on a Spider-Man costume. You don't get bonus points for that. You also don't get bonus points for having chemistry with your real-life girlfriend. It's the least impressive thing an
Also,
actor could ever do.
I mean, you're blaming everything that went wrong with that movie on the writing and everything else, but it's like, you know, he stuttered quite a lot.
That
and
was part of his character choice, which made him really endearing. I mean, when he asked Gwen out that first time, I mean, that was so sweet.
Sure. I think I mean, the thing is, I think you're.
I mean, I see how you're uncomfortably too.
If you go with Tobey Maguire, for example, I mean,
he's just mopey.
Yes,
and
just mopey.
Tobey is so
let her talk. Go ahead, Alicia. Yeah.
He is a wet blanket. He doesn't bring the real emotion to the role like Andrew Garfield did. And Tobey Maguire is a great actor. I really
He's the
liked
best
him.
actor even.
But he also had the advantage of being the first to really portray the Spider-Man origin scene. And for Andrew to have to step into that role and do that again and pull it off not very long after the first was, and people were like, oh, is this happening again? That was before reboots became a regular thing. Tom Holland, brilliant young actor, loved The Impossible, was really excited when he was cast. I thought he was great in Civil War, but I just think he has such an advantage because there is no way that Marvel is going to let this go wrong again. And they really have everything at their disposal to help him in his journey and really empower him to play the character, whereas I think Andrew just was fighting against a lot of things.
The fact that Tom Holland, a then 19-year-old, was able to go up against Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. and hold his own as an actor proves better than Andrew Garfield being the star of the film. Holland stole the show with 30 minutes already being claimed the best Spider-Man within 30 minutes of a movie that he's not even featured, not even probably in the top 10 credits of. So with that alone, also in the trailers of Spider-Man Homecoming, we see him as an amazing Peter Parker, which Tobey did well, and an amazing Spider-Man as Andrew Garfield kind of did with the quips and everything. So he's everything Spider-Man is. He is both Peter Parker and he's Spider-Man, which the combination of those two is amazing. Also, he's really young, and he captures a character better than anyone because your character and yours both graduated in the first movie, high school, and then or was started in college or something like that.
He was in high school.
Right, he was in high school and then he graduated,
right?
School, yeah, and then he graduated. So I think by that point, we don't get to see the Spider-Man that we read about in the comics. And the best performance of Spider-Man, sure, might be its own separate things, like you said about, Tobey maybe
Tobey
not as
win,
faithful. Yes. But the fact that Spider-Man is a comic book character and that Tom Holland and all the people in the film can encapsulate what those comic books are and make the performance as real and unique and still fantastic just means he is the best actor in that role.
Tobey Maguire, Kristen Dunst, apart from that one kiss in Upside Down, which was pretty iconic.
Which, more of a gimmick than anything.
I didn't really buy their relationship, and I will say it's important, and I will say that it's not a cop-out to have, your real-life relationship because, yes, they did have chemistry, but that it doesn't always translate to the screen. It's a very different thing, and the way these two played off against each other, and I will defend his stuttering because I think it really is a sweet...
Oh, will you defend his stalking?
Charismatic... Script choice, charismatic trait to him.
I mean, sure, but an actor can make a decision to say, "Hey, I don't want to." Also, he's way too cool to be Peter Parker. He's riding a skateboard through the halls.
And I will say, Alicia, you said that
that's
it's
not a young kid.
Actually, I'll say
Peter Parker is a nerdy kid.
But Spider-Man is wish fulfillment, right? That's the whole story.
But that's why Peter Parker is
supposed
to be grounded, and then Spider-Man is
right. But every kid, when I read the comic books, I read it as realizing that I was a young boy who wasn't the coolest, who didn't look a certain way, but could still be someone, and that's so relatable, more than, say, an Andrew Garfield who looks pretty, or a Tobey Maguire who's, just completely crying about his love the whole entire movie.
He looks very pretty in that.
Sure.
Okay. So Tom Holland's ugly is what you're implying?
No, Tom Holland is relatable.
Okay, Jenny, go ahead.
I will agree that Tom Holland being ugly helps me like him a lot more. No, I have a lot of issues with particularly Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. You did say that it's important for him to have that relationship with his girlfriend and with his family. I didn't really feel that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man had that family connection, especially with Uncle Ben, which is such an important part of his character.
It was more about May.
Well, Uncle Ben is his entire driving force to be Spider-Man. You got to have Uncle Ben in there, and I felt like he was just in it. They kind of argued. Then he immediately died. I also felt like the way he portrayed nervousness was almost like an offensive caricature of someone with Asperger's. He was literally scratching his ear like a stereotypical autistic child. I was just I'm so uncomfortable watching this.
No.
So he kind of seemed like an actor that's never been nervous before, playing someone who's nervous.
No, he's definitely definitely not portraying that in any way, and it's definitely an act and a character choice, and not.
He was very twitchy.
He's nervous in real life.
I feel like
a really sweet, awkward
is not
guy.
what you have to go to, and I'll also say I haven't seen a lot of Tom Holland, so it's hard to argue on him. But I will say that it's so fortunate for him that he had Tobey's performance to look at
Well, I
as he
think
took
it's
on the
fortunate
role.
for him that he has the might of the Avengers to support
I mean, we don't
cast.
really have. I can't probably say that. Damn. See, it's hard not being able to mention the movie.
Yeah.
It might as well have not happened.
I mean, the thing is, the fact that you guys can. The only argument you guys have is saying, "Oh, well, it's lucky for him. He has everyone to be a part of." You can't knock a single
To
thing.
bounce against
You can't really
him.
say anything bad about my pick
Yeah.
because there's really nothing
I'll
bad
say-
about my
I-
pick.
Yeah, are there bad things about his pick?
I mean, I liked his performance in Civil War. I haven't seen Homecoming, but it wasn't like, wow, amazing. It was just like, he was great. He's great.
Sure. I mean, the reviews for both Homecoming and Civil War on him.
There's
I
still
mean,
a
I have
debate,
nothing to go
though.
on. You
Jenny,
gotta-
any negatives against Tom from Civil War and
I
what you've
liked him
seen?
in Civil War.
It's like, yeah, he's great.
He was fine, yeah.
Why is Toby better? Last closing point. Than
Toby
these
is the
two?
OG Spider-Man. He was so many people's introduction to the character, and he also kickstarted like the entire superhero film movement. So I think Toby deserves major props for that. And he carried Spider-Man 3. He also had difficult scripts, and he gave it his all every time, and I respect him for that.
Okay, Tony. Final thoughts.
Tobey Maguire wasn't that faithful to the character that we know and love, and Tom is way more. As well as we didn't have to retread any origin story with Tom and anything in Homecoming. He's just Spider-Man, and I think that's amazing. Sure, we have all the Avengers to help us, but that shouldn't stunt his performance because him as an actor, him as Spider-Man, is so amazing, and he really encapsulates the role. He feels like he's Spider-Man, and that's what's so amazing.
Alicia, final thoughts.
Andrew Garfield, Oscar-nominated actor.
Not for Spider-Man.
Really
Not
brought
for
that
Spider-Man.
in. But he shows that he's an actor with promise, and he really brought everything he could to that role, and it wasn't his fault. I felt like it was sad when they announced a new Spider-Man. I was like, oh, I just wanted to see Andrew Garfield get the script that he deserved to really show what he could have done as Spider-Man.
I'm glad
but
he's
because
gone
he had
forever.
so much to fight against, and he did such a good job, and there's still debates online about this as
Sure.
well. It's not a unanimous decision.
I don't-
It's
Tom
not.
Holland.
It's
It's
not.
not.
It's
It's still up
really?
for debate.
No, it's not.
Okay.
So for those reasons and more, I say Andrew Garfield.
Dan, yeah, is it a unanimous decision? There are lovers of all three on there. Yes.
There are lovers of all three right now. It's pretty close for who's the number one choice from our fan poll. Some other actors that were not mentioned: Nicholas Hammond, who's TV's Amazing Spider-Man from the 1970s.
almost
Neil
gonna
Patrick
do
Harris was the voice of an animated Spider-Man. Paul Soules did the 60s Spider-Man.
Drake
Drake
Bell.
Bell did Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yep.
All right.
See,
Some
I know.
shout-outs from Twitter. People wanted this person recognized. Reeve Carney, who was Spider-Man
no,
in
God,
Spider-Man
no.
Turn Off the Dark.
He played him like a Jonas brother.
But
Magical.
went through many hazards to
Yeah.
do that role, and then excuse me, Shinji Toto, my favorite, who was Japanese Spider-Man. Which, if you haven't
Oh,
seen,
yes.
the
What is
intro
the
to
Indian
Japanese
one?
Spider-Man,
There's an Indian one named Desi something.
that I don't know.
Yeah.
There's an Indian one. It's great.
Yeah, those are both very epic. You can
Many
find them on
other
YouTube.
Spider-Men that were not mentioned, but added to the legacy of the Spider-Man. And yeah, I have the fan vote, but I'll let you know after you
Donald
make your
Glover
vote.
would've
Anything
been a
else to
good
clean
choice,
up?
too.
Pretty clean fight.
He
Pretty
did
clean
Miles
fight,
Morales
yeah.
in the-
Absolutely.
This was hard for me, actually. This was legitimately hard because kudos, Alicia. It did feel like you were up against the ropes a couple times, but you did strong there. But
Right?
Because he picked the worst
I
Spider-Man.
heard
It's not his fault.
they got you a little bit with just the fact that he stuttered a lot. That whole stuff. You defended that well, but then the fact that it's like the relationship worked because it was his real life girlfriend is another interesting point of that was convenient for him. Tom Holland, the cons obviously there we don't see a lot yet, but I was pushing to sort of see what negatives you guys could bring, even in the stuff you have seen, and both of you really did admit you liked it. But Tobey Maguire, you made some really interesting points. He is the OG. He did have a lot there to work with. I like also when you took down Alicia about the Uncle Ben part of Amazing Spider-Man. That is a valid point. He doesn't really do that very well. So it's really between Tony and Jenny for me. I want to get the fans involved, guys. What do you think, based on those arguments between the three of them? Really, did you guys have any feedback?
Well, I think Jenny did a great job of knocking down Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
She brought up the stammering, and that's the part I couldn't stand about Andrew Garfield. So I think Jenny got it there.
Toby is my boy. I mean, you can't beat it. And I think with Spider-Man, it's almost like a Batman situation. Peter Parker is just as important, and I really related to Toby's everyman, Peter Parker.
Yeah, I mean, you gave me a lot there, Tony. You did, because you did steal the show, and they admitted that. They said they liked it. But I got a little bit more of the takedown from Jenny against Andrew that I really liked, and I think you guys gave equal pros. So I got to give Toby and Jenny the first point.
All right.
So very close.
First point ever.
And I'd like to say I think all three are great Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well,
Although they're all great.
Can we say we couldn't all choose Tom Holland, so some of us had to take the
No,
hit.
Jenny picked Toby.
And I did the best I could.
Well, fans on Twitter have chosen Tom Holland. 47% voted for Tom Holland, 36% Tobey Maguire, 17%. So Garfield's got a contingent.
I will say, I
If we
argued
factor
without
Homecoming,
the
it might have
movie.
changed things slightly because you did get a little bit more. He is really good in Homecoming. But
Yeah.
let's
If
give
I
Tony
could
his props.
argue-
Toby his props.
Toby, yeah. I should have said no, perhaps it fights. It's all right. It's too late now.
All right, round two.
Oh, God.
This comes in from Kyle Noranha. They want to know, what's the best scene from any Spider-Man? Since we're here with a Spider-Man actor, Alicia loves this. What is the best scene from any
Great.
Spider-Man movie? Tony, you're up first.
I'm going with the.
Three more fights that you'll be good at. Yeah. After this one.
I feel bad about my choices.
I'm going with Spider-Man 2 train fighting scene with Dr. Octopus, where he's fighting on the train with Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus, and then stops the train with his bare muscles.
Wow, picking a Toby scene.
Picking a Toby scene,
Good for
yeah.
you. Jenny, what scene are you?
Well,
Let's
I
go around
can't
and hit the
choose
scenes, then we'll come back.
Homecoming.
Jenny, what's your
Okay,
scene?
my scene is the scene in Spider-Man 1 when Spider-Man goes up against Bonesaw McGraw. So that's obviously the best moment in the entire trilogy, the entire Raimi trilogy, and the entirety of the Spider-Man cinematic universe. So
Great.
you get to see him fighting as Spider-Man the first time. It's a wonderful scene.
And Alicia, what are you picking?
Well, given your previous thoughts on this relationship, maybe I have an uphill battle, but genuinely, my favorite scene in any Spider-Man movie is when Gwen dies in Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Because it is an emotional part of the series. I mean, they built up this great relationship. As I said, I really bought into their chemistry. I really loved seeing them on screen together. And then the way that she falls and it's in slow motion, it's probably the most artistic scene within the Amazing Spider-Man 2 films. And it's a bright spark in that pretty terrible movie. She's falling in slow motion. You think that he's going to catch her. And I just assumed when I watched it for the first time, oh, he's going to catch her. I'm not even worried.
Then,
oh,
snap!
I know, like you said in Honest Trailers. That was a brutal end to Gwen. Her head snaps back and he just catches her and
Like slams on the ground.
oh my God,
You hear, like,
and
a
I was
watermelon
so
cracking
shocked.
sound.
Yeah,
It was
I was so
great.
shocked and actually really emotional about it. So that's why I'm choosing that scene.
All right, it is a emotionally intense scene versus two more fight scenes. Let's hear it out, guys. Why better? Tony, back to you. Why is your scene the most iconic and best Spider-Man scene out of these three?
Well, it's iconic because, first off, Spider-Man 2 is arguably the best Spider-Man film to date. And I think it's so amazing because we have a fight scene that really captures what Spider-Man can do, hanging off the edge of a moving train, how strong he is. There's a moment where he slips through the tiny sliver of a overhead walkway, and that's incredible. We see how quick he is, how adept, and Sam Raimi is fantastic at creating suspense. Like there's that whole moment where he can't find Dr. Octopus, and we see that little claw thing kind of come under the train, and we're all very nervous and scared, and so he creates tension within a fight scene that's not just hitting each other as hard as they can, as well as then creating a moment which I think is iconic for all superhero movies now, is the struggle of trying to do something with an incredible feat of strength. You have that now
His
in...
face is like,
Yeah.
it's
Right, no.
intense.
I mean, but it's fantastic.
It's like, whoa.
Because after that, you get the Civil War helicopter hold with Chris Evans' biceps.
But I feel
you
and
get
I
Tom Holland's
feel like
fairy
there is,
thing.
Is it a
And-
fairy? Well, because he does the same thing, doesn't he? in
Yeah, but it's a
Homecoming?
fairy split in half.
But it's the same
That's
thing.
Right, but
Holding
this is the
together with
first
the
one.
thing.
This has set the trend for everyone else, as opposed to you were thinking, sure, slow motion, but that's only like who are they trying to copy?
That's
Zack Snyder's
sweet.
Watchmen, like
It's
following the
really-
joke. It's like I mean, it seems like they kind of
emotional.
copied that scene from what is it, The Comedian in Watchmen?
Well, so you both chose action scenes, and it's like, yeah, with superhero films, I guess I'm not the market for these kind of action scenes. I always enjoy when I can invest in a character more emotionally. And with that scene, I think it was really exciting on top of the train, but I was never for once worried about Spider-Man. I mean, he's going to be fine. And he's
Right.
going to save people. They're not going to let a train full of people die. So I was like, oh, it looks cool. It's great. And then your scene is fun in terms of it being just a silly. He's in the outfit. Oh, you got to
Right.
call me human
What
spider.
is your scene? I don't remember
It's the
it at all.
wrestling scene where he first comes out as a
cage
human
match.
spider and he's dressed in that
Oh.
like oversized
Oh.
outfit. And then he
Okay.
says,
Yeah.
and then he says to the wrestler, "Did you get that from your husband?" Which I don't know if you would say that in a film these days. And then they have that
The
whole
product of
fight
its
back
times,
together.
Alicia.
And it's fun because he's
Besides,
like,
Bone Saw's husband did make that
Right,
for him.
but yeah,
He was just trying to remind him how embarrassed his husband would be if he lost the match. It was
That's
a
right.
personal
But that
attack.
scene is like no one really ever
That's
talks
remember
about that
okay,
scene.
okay.
Yeah.
That is the first time we get to see Spider-Man actually like fight someone with his powers. It's a great kind
Right,
of
but he doesn't even like throw any
jumps out of the
punches.
way.
He just jumps out of the
Peter
way.
Parker
He
coming
doesn't
into his
have
own.
to-
Let it go ahead.
Yeah, it's a great moment. We get to see Peter Parker coming into his own as a fighter. We get to see my favorite Spider-Man suit, which is his like crappy homemade sock one, where he's just like put a sock on his head and a sweatshirt. It's endearing. I think it's also great to see a Spider-Man that Tom Holland has his nice Tony Stark costume, and Andrew Garfield inexplicably has this like movie costumer made
costume.
CGI Spider-Man
good.
suit that I guess he made from like stuff he got at Joann Fabrics or something. Never made sense to me. I love this because it's like he struggles. You get to see it kind of like it's like a scrappy Spider-Man, and it drives home that Spider-Man is like the underdog superhero. Plus, it segs perfectly into Uncle Ben being killed by the carjackers because when he's trying to collect the prize money, he makes that judgment call not to stop the robber. Lets him get away, and he gets Uncle Ben. So it ties in perfectly with the story of the movie, and it's a great
What's Uncle Ben
lesson
say
for
when he dies
Spider-Man.
again?
He says, "With great power comes with great responsibility."
Okay.
Remember that, Pete.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Heard that so
keep on.
much.
Yeah.
Okay, but you
the
can't
best line.
can't
The
use
best
you
line.
can't use the Uncle Ben stuff. You're talking about the Bonesaw scene, so that's
No,
only the
yeah.
cage match.
Yeah.
You can't like
Straight.
take into consideration
Just tee
what
up,
comes next.
Yeah, just making points. She did tee
It's-
up that scene. I just needed to hear it again. Go ahead.
Okay. So and as for Gwen dying, it was like, I mean,
you
really,
gotta admit
that
that's pretty
movie.
brutal.
I mean,
The
sure.
cheesy CGI
Sure,
spider
it's
web
How rare
shocking.
is it that people
when the
die
web
in
splits
superhero
into
films?
hands
It's
and
pretty
Yeah,
grabs
but like,
her.
I mean, having
rare.
read the comics, I knew it was all coming, and also it's like,
I
it's
didn't.
just,
I was like,
but
I was just
I mean,
amazed by
it was.
They didn't set it up well. They knew it was an iconic scene that they wanted to include, but they were like, what if they're in a clock tower? And that didn't make sense.
fragments of the clock, and,
And
it's
then-
about time.
And then
there's so many
also, okay,
metaphors with
here's
the
what
scene.
bothered
Come
me the
on.
most
They
about
didn't
Gwen
have enough
Stacy's
time.
death. It was set up by the narrative
time.
as she keeps trying to go there and help Peter, and he keeps saying, stay behind, like you'll get hurt. And she's like, no, I'm a strong female character, I'm gonna go with you. And then she dies doing that. So the moral was like, yeah, you should have stayed at home, Gwen. Know your place, lady. So
I don't think that's
and
the
the
moral. He
only
tried to
reason I
save
was
her.
like, I loved that scene only because I hate Andrew Garfield, and I was happy to see him sad.
Oh
So,
my gosh,
the
you
only
and Andrew
virtue
Garfield.
of that
You
scene.
got like something personal going on with Andrew Garfield.
I hate him for what he did to Spider-Man.
Oh
That's it.
jeez, I don't think
That's it.
I don't think he was that bad.
No,
by
I had
the way,
no beef
think
with him until he
Amazing
was in
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
was actually pretty good. I just want to put that
The
out
first
there.
one, the second one
Yeah.
was kind of like
Yeah.
you have a bunch of villains in it, and
Yeah, but I
it
think,
just felt
like-
like even the moment after she died, his I will say him crying afterwards was not.
Wow, you're just kicking a man while he's down.
I know. God, let's get off.
I don't think that was like the best acting he possibly could have done. If
But
you've seen
can I
him
say
inside,
for this scene, as you pointed out, like there were so many other scenes that you could have chosen if you want to talk about Spider-Man coming into his powers for the first time.
Right.
And
But that's
the
literally the
excitement of it.
first time.
But he
What scene would
really
you pick
doesn't do
instead
much.
of
Well, I
that?
can't think of one.
I would see. I would
Have you
rather
seen
pick
the
something like
last I
him.
remember there was things where he was trying and
Yeah. Okay.
I would have
And
picked.
I'm coming for you
I
too. I'm
have.
coming for you too.
In a second. But I would have picked if I wanted to see something of him come into his own. I would have picked the scene where he fights off the robbers, who are trying to hijack or Rob.
Well, that's after he
Mary
decides not
Jane.
to use his powers for personal gain because of the lessons he learned following the Bonesaw match.
Right.
Swish.
Or you could have even like had the moment where he actually finds the guy who hurt his Uncle Ben or killed his Uncle Ben, and that scene would have been better than the Bonesaw. Bonesaw is like more of a comedic, just like funny thing.
And those movies are great for their comedy, and that's why I picked Bonesaw.
but that's why like Spider-Man 2, the fight scene is the first time we get to see Spider-Man truly, like, it's an amazing action set piece that we never thought we were going to get to see with the CGI of its time. It was unprecedented. I remember watching it as a kid and saying, this is amazing. This is everything I've ever wished for. The also the moment where he stops the train, sure, you know, it's been used now a million times, but that was the first time, and everyone always looks to that as inspiration, to how can you sacrifice your body as much as you can for that moment. So we not only get to see Tobey Maguire, like...
I don't think that was like the first time someone did that.
I like name
the first time
another...
in Spider-Man, maybe. But I'm sure there's many.
What other superhero movies before, like?
Are we talking superhero specifically, not movie?
I mean, I'm just saying, it's like as a superhero, it's like that's something a common person can't do.
All right, Jenny, you were gonna take him down. Go
Okay,
ahead.
go for it,
Either of you. What are the thoughts against this fighting?
I didn't dislike that scene, but it is like immediately upstaged by the emotional moment afterward when his mask comes off and everybody's like, he's only a kid. So I feel like you should have picked that scene and you picked the weaker of two when they're right up against each other. I think the scene that follows almost makes you forget all of the fight scene that you just watched. So to me, the fighting itself was kind of unremarkable. It kind of paled in comparison to the emotional Tobey moments.
I feel like we've seen, there's so many, even you go back to like, I don't know, silent film serials and stuff, we've seen so many train scenes of jumping on and off the train and going ducking under things that it was exciting, but it didn't really change the genre in any way or make anything that was like a huge inspiration, apart from when I rewatched that scene, I was like, oh, didn't they do that again in Homecoming from what I've seen with the thing? But fairies, I got it now.
Different.
I have to watch it.
All right, using as your final thoughts. Any final thoughts, Tony?
Yeah, I think the scene with Gwen's death was just like, I think it was, there was nothing really, like, I didn't feel surprised by it at all. I knew it was coming. Even if I didn't read it, they like telegraphed the whole entire thing throughout the whole entire movie, so it wasn't surprising, and it was quite boring, and if anything, it made me laugh when it happened, because it was just like kind of hilarious how bad they did it. And as for Bones, see, I forget your choice. I'm just saying,
That's a personal problem.
It's not a memorable scene. I don't really remember that happening.
Even Alicia remembered it. She quoted it.
I'm sure she didn't watch it on YouTube.
She doesn't like Spider-Man that much. No, she remembered
watched it on YouTube.
She remembered it from the very first time she saw it.
Because I read the answer and I was like, what?
Exactly.
Was there a villain?
So just assume that.
They have cardboard saws. They're selling their arms.
So then I was just like, Google that, Google that.
No, you remembered it. It's okay.
I just
Jenny, final thoughts?
I think the Gwen Stacy moment is a moment that's made cheap by the fact that it doesn't really fit with anything that happens before or after it. And the theater I was in, people actually laughed when they saw that cheesy CGI web hand reaching for her. It's very heavy-handed. So yeah, there were a lot of snickers, which is not a good sign. And as for the train scene, it was a good scene, but it was just kind of another Spider-Man fight. He's got a lot of good fights. Bonesaw is the first, and he's a great, memorable character. People love Bonesaw, and he goes, "Bonesaw is ready," and that's a great line.
Oh, that iconic line.
It's a great line. People
You're
love
good, yes?
Bonesaw.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, what do you
Yes.
need to add here?
Just a lot of other scenes. People from first of all, a lot of people ask about the airport scene from Civil War. That's not a Spider-Man movie. So
That's-
it's
yeah.
not eligible for
Nope.
for inclusion here. Anything with J.K. Simmons. A lot of people saying they loved every scene that J. Jonah Jameson was in. Some support for the lab scene, the Doc Ock kind of birth scene from Spider-Man 2, the Evil Dead scene from Sam Raimi. Green Goblin forcing Peter Parker to choose between Mary Jane and the civilians from the first Spider-Man movie. A lot of people thought about. So a lot of different scenes. Mainly the consensus. I saw more than a few people say anything but this scene of course, being the dancing scene from Spider-Man 3.
I almost
which-
picked that. I almost picked the omelet scene with Mary Jane and
Oh,
James
wow.
Franco.
James Franco.
Oh,
Oh.
it's such a good scene.
Apparently,
Yeah.
he trained for like 6 hours to learn how to flip an omelet.
It
and
worked.
on
It
screen,
impressed me.
Couldn't do it. Like it still.
It was
falls.
cuter though. It was nice that he tried, and like I was impressed.
You're
He
real
got it
frustrated.
halfway,
That fit the
just folded.
character.
It's like it fit the character. Fuck it.
He's always frustrated.
Yeah. The fan
Precious.
poll
I
has
love
made
that
their
scene.
decision, which I will tell you about.
Sure, it's a clear winner.
It's a fairly clear winner, yeah.
It's gonna be
I'm
the
guessing
train
it's
scene.
not Bonesaw.
gonna be
It's
the
not
train scene.
Bonesaw.
Let's say it's not
But
Gwen.
there
Why
was a
isn't it Bonesaw?
16% voted for Bonesaw.
Yeah.
There's a
Yes.
nice healthy
Well, look, I think you
support
made a
for
valiant
Bonesaw.
effort there, Jenny. You did. It's good. I think we all needed to be reminded of the scene, which was the problem, and that's ultimately what
It's just because it's a bunch of fake fans,
the other
and I
two.
understand that.
No, we are fair. I mean, you are clearly the biggest Spider-Man original fan, so I will give you that.
Yeah.
But it came down between Gwen dying and train fighting. And look, I think Alicia gave some. While I got taking my personal opinions of the laughter, which I think you made good points on. It is an emotionally investing scene, and someone who's not as welled up in the comics, it is sort of out of nowhere. Whoa, they killed one of the lead love interests.
And they tried some stuff.
And you made a good
And you
point.
learned
You're
a
never
lesson.
worried about Spider-Man in that train sequence because you know no one's going to die. So that was a very good point back to him. That said, you did point out, Tony, it is full attention even still, and the Doc Ock moments are really great. Sets the tone for all those hero shots that we see later. It is probably his most iconic fight from that trilogy. I think is a safe thing to say. So do you go for emotionally investing or most iconic fight scene? I think I just heard more criticism against the Gwen death, so I got to give Tony the point there. Tony, you get it.
Yay!
What did they say online, Dan?
It was a pretty clear victory online. We'll make sure to get the latest numbers here. 63% now voting for the Spider-Man 2 train fight, 21% voting for Gwen's death. So
We should just
Oh,
have the
Bonesaw
fans
did better
vote,
than
'cause
Gwen.
so far I'm killing it there.
And Andrew Garfield is never coming on this show.
If he
By
does,
the
I'll
way, I
get him
think
with
you
my
guys
car
have
in the parking
slacked him
lot.
enough.
Oh,
Well, he's not going to be friends with Tony.
He's a sweet. That's not true. We've met. And
He
he's a
hasn't seen the
very
show.
sweet
He's
guy.
lovely.
He's so
He's
nice.
really nice. I've talked to
He
him a
seems like
bunch
he's
of
nice,
times,
yeah.
and he's
I
great.
love you,
Super
Andrew.
sweet.
You're great.
Really,
I
really
think he'd
great.
even have some
Also-
honest feedback about those movies.
Well, he has. He's talked about it, but
Yeah.
he said like there's nothing he could do. He tried his hardest.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him for that movie.
No.
part
I do.
two.
He says he only watched the second one once, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And then Tobey Maguire said the same thing. He was like, I only saw Spider-Man 3 once, and that was once too many.
Yeah, exactly.
They've
It's a
all-
good movie. It holds
Tom,
up.
Tom Holland might get his in a few movies. You never know. All right.
Not if I'm in him.
All right, question 3. All right, Coen Brothers, David Lynch both have new TV shows out. Fargo and Twin Peaks are thriving on TV. We wanted to ask what unlikely film director should create and direct their own series? And you obviously got to pitch me sort of what movie it's loosely based on that they would do this on. We're up to you, Jenny. You're up first.
Okay.
Which director do you want to see do a TV series?
I picked Tim Burton. We've never seen. Well, I've never seen him work in TV. I didn't research it that thoroughly. Just gonna put that out there.
I'll trust you.
Maybe he did. We don't know. It's a mystery.
Okay.
And what movie would it be based on? All of his movies. All of them.
The
It'll
Tim
be
Burton
the Tim
cinematic-
Burton universe, not cinematic,
Okay,
but
fair.
television universe. Obviously, can't get Johnny Depp because he's a film actor. He's expensive, and in my perfect world, he's been hit by a bus already. So you would have awkward like look-alike, sound-alikes of all of his roles.
Oh, wow.
And there would also, the main character would be an awkward character named Jim Birdie, and he's obviously a ripoff of Jack Sparrow. And you can feel that Tim Burton is really upset that he didn't invent Johnny Depp's most iconic role. So that would be a good
So it's like
character
a
to
Disney
anchor the thing.
cosplayer.
Yeah, it would
Okay.
be like a cheap like Spirit Halloween store version of a Jack Sparrow costume.
Called Jim Birdie.
And it would be like an awkward college guy that thinks he can do the voice really
Is
well.
he the lead of the show?
Yes.
He's going through all
yeah,
the worlds.
and it's like a detective serial, so you can have your crime of the week, and yeah, it'd be great.
But all the movies, Charlie and the Chocolate
yeah,
Factory, they're
Alice
all
in
there.
Wonderland,
Planet of the
Charlie and
Apes.
Chocolate Factory. Yeah, Planet of the Apes. They even invite Miss Peregrine School.
Oh, wow.
Even them.
Oh, wow.
Okay, all right.
Deep
so you're going
cuts.
everywhere. Deep
Yeah.
cuts. All right.
All
That
of
was
them.
kind
I
of
look
new,
forward
so
to
is that a
hearing
deep
more.
cut?
It is a deep cut because no one saw it.
No one did. Alicia, what are you picking?
I'm picking Catherine Bigelow. She's one of the best action film directors around. She's so good at creating tension, at throwing you right in the middle of a crazy situation, and particularly great with war films. And I loved The Hurt Locker. I thought that was really exciting. It showed a different side of the military that I hadn't thought about too much, particularly the fact that it shows that war is a drug. And that, I think, is such an interesting kernel of an idea that could be spun out into an exciting television show where she would keep you on the edge of your seat waiting for the next episode, and it would be a limited series, very high-end production.
But it's all taking place sort of Hurt Locker style through other war scenarios?
Yeah, through a war scenario, yeah.
Cool.
Modern day war.
Yeah. Tony, what were you picking?
I'm picking Quentin Tarantino, and it will be loosely based on Reservoir Dogs. Quentin Tarantino is a master filmmaker who has such a huge audience, and he's already directed a couple of episodes of CSI. That's true.
That is true.
That's 100% true, which I was so surprised. But he has not created and directed his own TV series. And I think what better way than to give this man a large time frame for him to tell a narrative between all these characters a la Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Bastards, different main characters, and have them all interject. You know, season finales are going to be huge things, but his dialogue is always amazing. His characters are always interesting. He's always pushing the envelope. His action is amazing. And the way he writes scripts is just something we've not seen in television right now, which is that, dark story with like a tiny bit of a lighthearted touch and fun, jabs and jokes from here and there. And I think that's why he would be the best to do create and direct his own TV series.
Is it just Reservoir Dogs, or you said Inglourious Bastards? They're all showing up too?
No, I'm just saying like that style
okay.
of his
clarifying if it was another shared universe.
No, just Reservoir Dogs. So it's like all these
different
crime, Mr. Pink, Mr. Brown, all these guys.
They're all dead, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but
new ones.
These are all new ones. Someone is doing the same crimes crime syndicate. A la Reservoir Dogs after hearing their story, and we get to see a very Tim Rothman-like character interject and be that guy who's working for the police but having to figure it out slightly.
I get like Fargo has shown it's loosely, yes,
loosely
because they're not based on the movie, but got
great,
it. Thematics. All right, great. Let's fight it out, guys.
First thing I want to touch on is Catherine Bigelow. I think is incredible. And I think you're right. She creates such tension, but we have so many TV shows like that already. One show being a show that they're filming right now called Medal of Honor, about Medal of Honor winners. And there's so many different TV shows. Band of Brothers was a miniseries. So there's so many stories like that already told, and master directors who can make tension in TV universe.
The thing that's different, though, is the idea of exploring how war can be really addictive to people, because that is so fascinating. A little touch of an idea in Hurt Locker where you think that looks like the worst job of all to dismantle bombs, and why would you want to go back once you get home? And I think exploring that in terms of modern day war and the stuff that was going on right now, and the pull people feel to go back and keep fighting, I think that could be really interesting.
I agree, but I think the movie was the best way to tell that story with one person. I don't feel like you can continually make that story for episodes long. Oh, gotta go in and get another bomb.
No,
damn it. Oh man, gotta get another bomb. As opposed to Reservoir Dogs, you have a Breaking Bad showing you how a story and characters can evolve from a good character to a hugely terrible character.
That was such a great story because it was so self-contained and because it wasn't about the heist itself.
Mm-hmm.
It was about the characters. So the most interesting thing, and you never actually see the heist, is the aftermath of the heist. And the fact that it took place within such a limited timeline is what makes that movie really exciting, that there is a connection, there is an ending.
Sure.
That to have it continue for episodes is just a lot more difficult
but
to do.
But this is loosely based on. It's not going to be about one heist. Also, Quentin Tarantino has a wonderful filmography that we can pull from and see Inglourious Bastards, how short it is. Pulp Fiction, how short it is.
One thing he doesn't do is repeat himself, so I wouldn't want to see the same thing from him. I would want to see something new.
Exactly. He doesn't repeat himself. So he would be creating new episodes all the time.
But then the Tim Burton...
But how many would you even want? The Tim Burton one
sounds
could
good.
go on for
Sounds like
1,000
a nightmare.
seasons. He keeps making more and more shows.
Sounds like an existential.
No, you can have whatever tone
nightmare.
people want.
I'm just
He's
curious.
already
Like, I want to know what the
Walk me
TV
through
show.
it. Yeah, walk me
I
through
want
it.
to know
Okay.
what it's actually about.
Okay, well, Jim Birdie is he's sitting in his pirate office, and
Oh, is
Pirates.
Jim there from The Office too? Like, can we
no,
have someone from
the
The Office on?
dad from Big Fish walks in
Okay.
and says, "I need you to help me. My son has been kidnapped. My adult son that I'm estranged from." So he gets that family conflict right
Yeah.
up front
Oh,
that he's
wow.
estranged from his son. You're already invested,
Yeah.
and he goes. The Jack Sparrow character says, "I know where they've taken him, and they've taken him to Wonderland, to CGI Wonderland."
Wow.
So they go there. Obviously, it's on a TV budget, so it's a lot. It's like flash animated when they get to Wonderland.
Yep.
It kind of looks like a Saturday morning cartoon show.
Yeah, it sounds like
but it's
something you need
really
to be very
it can
stoned to
appeal
watch.
to any age demographic, and its biggest virtue is you can merchandise it. You guys' shows like, oh, maybe some fans would buy like a pop figurine or something, but this one we can sell T-shirts and hats and play sets.
Funko Pops?
Funko Pops by the thousands.
Yes.
They could sell maybe one or two of their cast because Funko
I'm
Pops will do
confused
stuff
about
like
the
that.
Pirates
We would win
connection.
Emmys.
Well,
Yeah.
he can't get the licensing for it,
Yeah.
obviously. It is a Disney
Yeah.
character, but he's just always felt really bothered that he didn't own Jack Sparrow because that's Johnny Depp's most iconic character. Tim Burton
Right, but
loves
where
to
does,
write
where does
Johnny
the
Depp
show
characters.
go? Like, I know her characters, they have the
Yeah.
going to stop the bomb and do it. They're creating heist after heist
Yeah.
or doing different crime syndicate stuff. So after they find the son,
Yeah, well, okay, picture, mine's kind of like Epic Movie, but a TV show. And it's
That's
So
so
only
weird.
Tim
That was
Burton
exactly what I had in my
characters.
mind. I didn't want to be mean and say it out loud.
No, it's
I'm
that.
so glad you did.
that sounds extremely
And
like
it's,
those movies
and
have
it's
like
exclusively
died.
Tim Burton characters.
That just sounds like a
I think
terrible
Johnny Depp was
parody
in
show.
Epic Movie. One of
No, you're saying you wouldn't watch it?
Absolutely
Not even out of morbid curiosity?
No.
You wouldn't even watch one episode?
Not at all.
Because we're going to roll a clip right now.
No
those.
way.
Oh, the TV's broken.
Oh, we couldn't get the rights. It's a very valuable property.
Oh, there you go.
A lot of
Yeah.
rights. All right. Well, we've heard about the Tim Burton universe.
Sold.
What do you think, Jenny, about these other two, the Hurt Locker and Reservoir Dogs?
I think that
universe?
one just sounds like a downer.
Hurt Locker
I
does?
think,
Okay.
yeah, those tweens are not going to be watching the Hurt Locker series. It's
not
going to
gonna
be
be on
really
the
hard to
CW.
move those Hot Topic
okay.
fashion collections
Yeah,
for the
never
Hurt
mind.
Locker tie-ins. And yours, I feel like would have. He's so fond of like killing his characters in fantastical ways. I feel like it wouldn't sustain itself for very long. Whereas Tim Burton's never going to run out of characters.
I'll just name one TV show that does that, Game of Thrones. And look at how they're gone
They
for 7
actually
seasons.
don't kill that many that frequently. They'll kill.
Right,
little
but I mean, this is a
supporting
TV
characters.
show. I think Quentin Tarantino knows to pace himself.
No, he doesn't.
Also,
You don't know him.
as a
The
matter,
ratio
I
of
don't
killing
know.
is interesting. There are, 6 of them, and they all die within, an hour and a half?
Right,
Yeah.
but this is loosely
Which is
based
what makes
on.
it really
This is
exciting.
loosely based on where it'll grow into like a crime syndicate. It won't be just this one heist, this one little thing. It'll be, they how they got together, who their stories are, what their family's like, and we get to like evolve on these characters as opposed to just seeing them for the limited
But
time we
the
have.
thing about
I heard enough. I heard enough. Dan,
We already picked
Dan,
mine, it's
anything
fine.
to add?
Just some fun suggestions from our Twitter followers watching live. At Random Reviewer says, I'd like to see the actual Steve Zissou series done by Wes Anderson. Nolan Dean, Shane Black should write and direct a Nice Guys Kiss Kiss Bang Bang shared universe TV show. Robert Moore at Silent Rob 55. Denis Villeneuve doing a sci-fi drama, maybe with a Lost feel. Jack Mayer, take all these Harry Potter prequels off of movie slates, have David Yates make an anthology series out of these ideas.
Oh, that's cool.
And Andrew Lucido says, how about John Carney of Sing Street fame doing a show about musicians? I know we all love Sing Street.
Oh.
Tarantino did indeed direct, in 2005, Grave Danger Part 1 and 2 for CSI. Also directed an episode of ER in 1990.
Yeah,
Really?
that's what I was trying to think of, yeah.
Amazing.
I didn't know he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
So, other than that, clean round. They have the fan poll is fairly definitive, but I will share that after you made your
They
ruling.
all love Tim Burton.
Hold up.
Right
Well,
for it.
you had me until you mentioned Epic Movie, and then that was sadly...
What, that ruined it for you?
That did ruin it for me. That's a really hard one to watch, but I enjoyed the creativity. The Flash animation, all of it, the Funko Pops really
Yeah.
did sound like a nightmare.
Funko Pops are in the series. They pull them out on
That's what I was
camera.
waiting for you to say.
Yeah,
that they
they're
they
featured.
talk all the
Yeah.
Johnny Depp, Willy Wonka, and everything. So then it came down between Alicia and Tony. I just think Alicia was able to knock yours down a little harder. Even Jenny hit you a little bit. And the fact that Tarantino would never want to repeat himself and the limited timing of the heist and not seeing the heist is what made that exciting. I think, it's not going to be just about bombs, I'm imagining. You're talking about modern war. Seeing Catherine Bigelow tell us a longer story in that universe sounds definitely interesting. Alicia gets the point.
Yay, 1 point.
I 100% would watch that.
What they? I'm guessing they picked Reservoir Dogs.
53% voted for Quentin Tarantino, 26% Tim Burton, and 21%
I know
Catherine
your
Bigelow.
audience.
There you go.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, well, Alicia's was
your
definitely the best show. But yeah, you know your audience there, Tony. All right, here we go. Question 4. In honor of the Bad Mom Christmas trailer, which I pretty genius idea I have to give them. Like the first one worked. It was like a niche thing that was very successful.
Absolutely.
And I think that was a smart follow-up for their audience to
I think
make
so,
fun of
too.
the Christmas crowd. I think
Sure,
it's going to
but
do really well for them.
I feel like it's a Horrible Bosses 2 type situation.
Whether it's
I don't
good or
wanna
not,
see it. That's a good
I
idea.
wasn't saying that. Bad Moms was good for its demo. I think this is a brilliant
very
move for
true,
its
very
demo. There were definitely funny parts of Bad Moms. So in honor of this Christmas theme, we wanted to ask what movie should make a holiday-themed sequel. Let's get it going before the holidays come back. Alicia, we're back to you. What movie franchise or movie do you want to make the holiday sequel for?
Well, in a similar vein to Bad Moms, but one of my favorite comedies is Bridesmaids, because not only was it funny, hilarious, great selection of women, but also it told some truths about female relationships, female friendships, and also that kind of very relatable feeling that you get when your friend tells you that they're getting married and you're like, oh, I'm happy for you, but I haven't got my life together yet. And that is something that I feel around Christmas time, because Christmas to me is a time when you go over to your friend's place and it brings up a lot of feelings. It brings up a lot of issues about family, about relationships, and I think it could be really relatable if Annie, Kristen Wiig's character, still hadn't quite got her shit together, and she and she still was kind of feeling like the adult at the kids' table, and she goes to Helen's place and it's all seemingly perfect on the surface, and she's wondering, whether she should have grown up by now. And I think that Paul Feig did such a great job with the first one. I'd love to see more from him with these characters.
Cool. Bridesmaids Christmas Story or holiday story. Tony, what are you picking?
I'm going with Richard Linklater's Dazed and Confused Christmas. I think that movie is the perfect movie to make a sequel to. We've already seen with Everybody Wants Them that it is a possible thing to do that narrative type stuff again. So I would love to see and revisit these characters, coming home for Christmas, talking about their stories, seeing old friends, because that's something everyone goes through, and I think that would be such a wonderful tale. And Dazed and Confused was such a perfect narrative on how, high schoolers act from freshman to senior, and we get to see, maybe the youngest kid, I can't remember, with the older sister, he's right about to graduate college. His sister's coming back from, or he's about to graduate high school, and his sister's coming back from college. And we see the family dynamics between everyone, the stories and everything. And that's what made people fall in love with Dazed and Confused, was seeing all these different narratives. And I think you could do that easily and find a different, wonderful story at Christmas time with Dazed and Confused.
All right, Jenny?
All right, mine is Jurassic World. I think it's another logical choice. It would obviously be called Jurassic Winter Wonderland. And the setup for this is that climate change is upon us. So Island Nublar is now covered with snow. Everyone assumes that's killed the dinosaurs because they're like cold-blooded. They're like, oh, they're all dead. But they're not. They're just dormant. So we've seen all those cool like hills and mountains and stuff like in the distance of Island Nublar.
Yeah.
So they've taken it over as a ski resort. And it's got like all these snowy slopes. So people are now going there to ski. And little do we know that in the basements of one of the ski lodges, we still have some dino eggs waiting to hatch. And when they switch the generators on to have all the people come in for vacation,
It heats them up.
wakes up the dinosaurs. These dinosaurs can't live long in the snow, so they got to go into the cabins. They're seeking out the warmth. But there are tourists in all of those cabins, and it's like a Santa's Village situation. It's called Winter Wonderland, obviously. They don't mention that there used to be Jurassic Park there. It's not good PR.
How long ago is this from Jurassic World?
It's about 30 years later,
Okay.
so
enough time for
literally
people to be
everyone's
idiots and
forgotten.
forget.
They have
Yep.
no idea. Like they make memes about it. Like it's not a fresh wound anymore. All those people that died. So yeah, what? Question?
No, I'm going to let you finish.
That was it.
Yeah, she was on a roll. You just interrupted the roll. I'm so excited to see where we went next. All right, well, maybe we'll hear more.
I want to leave him wanting more. It's like a trailer.
All
It's
right,
fine.
got it. So
Yeah.
the dinosaurs are getting in the cabins. Are they eating the
Oh,
tourists?
yeah.
All right.
They sure
That's
are.
what I
And the
wanna know.
gingerbread men.
All right. Find it out, guys.
I'm just saying, like, how do they not realize the dinosaur eggs are there? I'm like writing an honest trailer for this already. Like, how do they not
Tarps.
realize?
They're
what?
covered with tarps.
How does someone who's building a ski resort not open a fucking?
They think it's old furniture. They don't.
You would still want to use that old
It's
furniture.
an incubator. You
So-
don't realize it's dino eggs.
But
It's
either
not
way,
shaped like a big
whoever
dino
bought
egg like the
whoever buys the
Flintstones.
island knows that stuff happened.
they know
there,
they're
even
not
though
gonna
it's-
promote that.
Even though it's 30 years later,
Do
no
you think
one's
they're telling the
stupid
cleaning
enough.
crew,
Like,
"Oh,
how,
keep an
how
eye out for
dumb, Like, that's what was
dinosaurs"?
so dumb about
No.
like Jurassic World
They
2,
don't want the word to get
Lost
out.
World or something. It's like, why do you keep going back to this island? You should just
No,
like.
no.
Oh, they're gonna go back in Jurassic World 2.
They can't have the
I
word
know,
getting
but-
out that
That's
there used
still
to be
ridiculous.
dinosaurs there.
What is the point
Sorry,
of?
what's it called, Dan? Jurassic World.
Jurassic Winter
Lost
Wonderland.
World.
Kingdom.
Lost King.
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom.
What?
Sorry.
That sounds like a bad Michael Bay Transformer movie.
So Jenny's isn't
Yeah.
far off.
Yeah, Jurassic Winter Wonderland. Okay, look, they didn't want the people
Also,
that are
I
working
assume
there
it's
to know
Christmas?
about the dinosaurs. Yeah, of course it's Christmas.
Okay.
It's wintertime.
It's Santa's village.
Yeah.
I told you this. Imagine
It
the
could be New
person
Year's.
holding back a velociraptor with a big novelty candy cane in its mouth.
That sounds like a ridiculous movie that everyone would hate on, including myself.
But everyone would see it.
It sounds like
That
a great
doesn't matter.
spoof
It's like, you
movie,
know-
maybe, but
No,
not
I
an
would-
actual.
I would see it 5 times in theaters.
because I just, of course, it's the
Take the
retread,
kids,
which I know Jurassic
sell a lot of
World's done
play
it
sets for
again,
Christmas
but it
time.
just feels
Everything
like-
under the tree is going to be Jurassic Winter
Same-
Wonderland action
same
sets.
Is there a
That's
Santa?
Yeah, there's Santa.
Okay.
Santa is like we get to see a cool fight with him. Like he
versus
wants
the
to,
dinosaur.
he
Okay.
sacrifices himself for
I
the
might
kids.
help her here, but who
He's
are you
like,
casting?
Ho, ho, ho.
I might help you here,
Who's
but who are
Santa?
you casting?
John Goodman. And he's like, I'll hold them off, run, kids. And he's like, Santa's
Tony
coming to
just was so
town.
admitted.
And he
I
pulls
know.
out a candy cane.
Like, it's just so ridiculous.
Maybe.
I know that
You
it's
got
getting
reindeer
bought out
pulling the
right
sleigh
now.
running
Oh, that's
from
Christmas movie is
velociraptors?
ridiculous. It can be ridiculous.
Sure, yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
so we
But-
got, Jenny's getting some leverage here. I didn't think that would happen. Let's Tony and
That's so
Felicia.
funny.
Let's hear it back.
So funny. Well, I love Dazed and Confused, but what I would prefer to see is more of a high school reunion with them, like a reason to have all the characters back in the one spot and reminiscing, because I feel like Christmas time, unless you set it, there must be some kind of reason why they suddenly haven't seen each other in so long, and why they're reuniting at this point rather than
Right.
like
They're all
every
sorry.
Christmas, because it feels like that's something that
Well,
would happen every
no,
year
no,
if they
no.
go back home to their
Sure.
families. They surely would have seen each other before then.
Right, exactly. But some don't go home for
So is
from
there, like,
college. They're all
a special
split out.
reason why they all go together?
No, there's no special reason. But that was so great about Dazed and Confused. Was there any special reason? No, that were just high school kids doing what high school
because
kids
they were
do.
there at high school.
Right, exactly.
together.
And suddenly they all just came back. There doesn't need to be an explanation of a reason. If she can have John Goodman in a flying costume with a candy cane,
It's true.
mine doesn't need a
That is
reason
true.
for all these
But yeah, I
characters
would
to come
love
back.
to see a high
as
school
opposed to,
reunion together.
but
when
that
they're-
movie's
they're
already been
older
done
and-
in 10 years, and American Pie.
Sure.
re-
I mean,
so
don't get me
this
wrong, I
is-
don't want to see a Dazed and Confused sequel because I think it was so perfect by itself, and
Right.
Everybody Wants Some is a great spiritual sequel to that.
I think
But-
doing that sequel.
I thought that was smart. Everybody Wants Some to do it that way rather than to bring the characters
Right, but
back.
a holiday special would make sense. It would make more sense than just doing a sequel to the movie, because it's like, it is a Christmas themed movie, yet we don't have to have any Christmas things or talking about Santa. It's just about these kids reuniting
I know, but
and
that's
hanging
what-
out, seeing what they do. And that was so great about the first one, is we get to relive
That's
that
what makes
with a
holiday
new
movies
story.
great. Is the you know, like you've got the Shane Black bringing up the loneliness and how it makes you feel at Christmas time.
Right, and that's what we can touch upon there. I'm sure Richard Linklater would do something with, who's in a relationship, what past relationship you haven't seen in a while, all those little nuanced things that every single character feels, he'll add into his story, just like he did in Dazed and Confused. You have the stoner, what was he up to? You have Matthew McConaughey saying, all right, all right, all right. Once again, talking about how he's still sleeping with high school girls because they stay the same age.
Creepy.
and as opposed to like Bridesmaid I think they wrapped that out so beautifully that she found her guy, that retreading that. And I think what was so great about that is seeing these females in that wedding atmosphere. I don't know what you could add to it without being like a ridiculous movie and not nearly as good as the first.
Well,
adding Christmas to it for whatever
reason. The reason why
reason.
I went with Christmas was particularly because, you know, weddings and holidays are these moments that really bring up feelings for you. So that's when you can really touch on some relatable stuff and look at different family dynamics, different relationships, different friendships, and that those are the moments that are
and
really
if you want that, you'll get that all in Dazed and Confused because that's what it was. The movie was
it was
for,
just such
as
a
opposed to
great
Bridesmaids.
encapsulation
was a
of
funny
high
movie.
school. I feel like
Exactly.
I don't want to know where those characters ended up because I just like to have them in my mind as always being forever young. I don't want to see the sad Matthew McConaughey,
But that's
like,
an opinion,
creepy old
and I don't want to
character
see
saying,
what
"All right,
happened
all right."
to Kristen Wiig. I don't want to see her sad. She had that happy ending in the end, so I'm gonna do that. And now I think we should hit upon Jurassic
So
World
the
a little
only
bit.
one that's good is Jurassic World
Well,
because
no,
you get to,
I've
it's
already
new
said
human
how terrible of a
characters.
movie that would
The
be.
dinosaurs are back.
It's a
Also, like, it has
retread,
so
same
many
story.
illogical flaws that I would never want to see that movie. And
It
like
would
Jurassic
make me
Park
angry.
was flawless logic through and through.
It was the first
Jurassic,
time
but
we'd
that was
seen
the
it.
first time. You argued Tobey Maguire had the first time originality. This is like retreading.
It's a different question.
Also, like
Answer the question.
Also, we've been getting consistent Jurassic Park movies, and those questions still come up.
But never
With
a Christmas
Jurassic
one.
World.
It's
And what
always in the
difference
summer.
does that make?
I want
These-
dinos in the snow.
Well, we saw a Star Wars Christmas
Also,
special. And
like
that
how
wasn't
does
the best, right?
how do the lizards live? They are cold-blooded. That's my
They have to
question.
run in the cabin for a turn.
But they would die
I
super
love how
quickly because they're
seriously
lizards.
he's taking that pitch.
The logic.
They're wearing scarves and hats.
All right, Dan.
I will win this
I
point.
heard it. Dan, what are they saying over there? Anything to add on?
A lot of
With the
suggestions
pom-poms on top.
from our viewers at home. Jesse Castro says a nod to one of Tony's movies. It would never happen, but Christmas at the Grand Budapest Hotel. Shenanigans.
Wow.
Absolutely side-splitting.
I
Shuggy
almost-
Russell
Or a dope
says...
Christmas?
I can't go against you.
Would you rather see that or a dope Christmas?
I would
Dope
rather
Christmas.
see a dope Christmas.
Yeah.
Dope Christmas would be great.
That would be
Shuggy Russell says, how about Inception? One of Cobb's kids tries to incept him to get what they want for Christmas. David Wilson suggested Mad Max, A Wasteland Wonderland.
Oh, wow.
I think that gets
And
some
and Leanne Summers says Seth Rogen and Zac Efron in a Christmas-themed, well, in the UK and I think overseas it's called Bad Neighbors. Over here it's called Neighbors. But
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Neighbors movie, a Christmas-themed Neighbors movie.
Oh, that probably
That'd be-
would have done better than the other Christmas movie he did.
Maybe so, yeah.
I forget
That
what
was
that was.
the night
before.
before. That was the night
good
before.
though.
I didn't
Yeah,
see it the night
Okay.
before.
I saw
It
it.
was
that
really
was like
awesome,
Anthony
but it was
Mackie
good.
and
Yeah,
Joseph
Yeah.
kinda
It just didn't do very well.
It's a
It was fine.
it's an okay movie with a brilliant performance from Michael Shannon in it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Michael
It's-
Shannon
It's
was-
got the small
When I
role
saw
that's
him in it, I was like,
absolutely
what?
amazing.
He's
yeah.
great.
Right. Well, all right. This is tough.
Is it?
Yeah, well, it's weird.
Jurassic.
Alicia did say, rather than reading, there was there was a music video that went around that Butch Walker made where they brought Matthew McConaughey back. It's a good, check it out for
Oh,
once in your
right.
life or something. It's called Do It Feels Right. You should look. Anyway, I thought it was a really funny video, and you get to see that character come back in a.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
that's
thing. You can
really
look it up.
cool.
I think it's called Synthesizers is what it's called. Anyway,
I'll write that
tangent. But we did see him come back, and it was kind of fun. But regardless of that, personal preference aside, you did get a point like probably the high school reunion would be the better use of them, which I did like. So it ultimately came down for Bridesmaids and surprisingly Jurassic Park just because
Yes.
it was really silly
Yes.
and all these stupid holiday sequels. What's the point of them otherwise?
Oh, man.
When you had John Goodman as
got
Santa
little hats
Claus
and
with a
scarves
candy cane
and very
taking
long
fighting off a
necks.
T-Rex.
I shouldn't have
It
asked
was
that
pretty
question.
good.
You were
It was
helping
pretty
him a
good.
little bit,
No,
so
no,
I'm
no.
tough. I got to
Look
the
at Dinos
couch.
for
Should we
the
go
kids.
serious here with Bridesmaids, or do we go silly with Jurassic Park Winter Wonderland?
You gotta have some fun. Like I love horror movies that happen on Christmas, like horror and action movies. And John
Krampus.
Goodman's from St.
That was
Louis,
a
so
movie.
gotta represent there. So I'm all in for John Goodman's Santa Claus.
Wow, Tom, what do you think?
So, if I were greenlighting a movie, Alicia's hands down.
No,
but
no.
I kind of want to see what happens there.
That's tough. Do we go
insane
for the
enough to
green
be-
light or what we want to see? Dan, I know, does not want to see it.
Not so much, no.
I think give her the point. That was.
Wow, well,
funny.
Alicia just conceded it. There you go.
It
I
was
was about to
funny.
go, but
It
there
was funny.
you just gave Jenny the funny point.
I never
Wow,
want to see
Jenny.
it, but you're very funny.
And Bridesmaids 2 will never happen.
Wrap a
It'll
scarf around
never
their long,
happen.
elegant
Dazed and
necks.
Confused
No,
is
So-
well, the hard thing
possible.
for
All right,
me
well,
was
there
I
you
never
go.
want to see sequels, so it was like, what do I care
what-
the least about seeing?
Yeah, same. Yeah.
What did they say online, Dan?
Jurassic World actually right now is winning 39% over Bridesmaids 36%.
Hey, there was something fun about it. Even
No,
you
no,
started
I
getting
know,
excited.
I know. It's
John
fun.
Goodman, I was
But
like,
I wanted
He's These movies are stupid sci-fi movies. Let's at least make a
Twirling
Christmas
the
I
cake.
thought I
installment.
had you though.
Yeah.
Dan's
Oh.
disdain is so intense.
Stupid sci-fi
Dan.
movies.
Dan, which one
I'm
was
using
your
your
choice? I'm
language.
curious.
Which one would my
Which one-
choice
which
have
one
been?
would you have
It was
picked?
I was in a quandary because I didn't want to see any of them. So
Oh.
I don't know. That's
Wouldn't
a
you
good
feel
question.
fuzzy just knowing that Jurassic Winter Wonderland existed, though? Even
Well,
if you
they'd
didn't
just be
see it?
admitting that they're crappy.
I mean, if
in
it
a
killed
way.
the franchise, I guess in a
There
way.
you go.
There you
maybe.
go.
That's what we did
Everyone
now. We
wins.
just killed the franchise.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
And we got to see John Goodman with playing Santa Claus with a candy cane fighting on
Holding
the
back
T-Rex. A
velociraptors.
raptor, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's a
Great.
site. Someone make that GIF, please, or that artwork, that fan
Yeah, I
art.
wanna see-
All right, question 5. Here we go. So Jenny's now in the lead. You've made it to the finals. Jenny, wow. Speed round.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. So it's between Tony and Alicia who's going to join you, and let's see. This is it.
I know.
This is a big question. Let's say
I'm really
you
scared
know
about going
you
against
finally met the one. All right, the one you love,
Okay.
the one you want to be with, whatever it is. When he or she tells you this is their favorite movie. What is the movie you want to hear when you know you found the one? The ultimate movie to sort of base your relationship and future with someone because they've liked this movie.
Oh,
Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Now it
Tony,
does.
what movie do you want to hear? What movie do you want this person to say as their favorite movie?
Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars.
Let's go around here all the movies.
Yeah, I was.
All right, Jenny.
Spider-Man 2002.
Okay.
That long ago.
Yeah.
And Alicia.
Please don't call me pretentious, but Amelie.
Amelie. All right, cue the trick question. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
Oh, I was really hoping for it.
Get me out of
That would have been a weird one. All right, tell us why. Why is it most important for you to meet your? Why is this movie so important that would deem the person the one for you guys? Go ahead.
Would you like to go first? Go down that way, or
Well, you're
don't mind.
first. By
Okay.
number
Oh, that's
doesn't
right.
matter.
Okay.
You can give it to Alicia.
well, Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back is not only just a brilliant film, but it also is like a nerdy film, and I feel like that culture is being accepted now so much that when you find when she tells you she likes this movie, you know she's gonna be wanting to watch these movies, time and time again. They're classic movies. You can have fun. It's a wonderful movie, and it is the best of the series. So she has great taste. And Star Wars is such a huge thing that it's like this is a movie that we can watch on Christmas at any time, and we can bond over where the movies go, where the merchandising goes. I can ask her what's her lightsaber of choice, is she a Sith, and it expands to this whole universe that we can share together.
All right, Jenny, Spider-Man.
Okay, well, there's a reason I'm wearing all these Spider-Man layers, even though it's like 8,000
Not
degrees
for
in
me?
here. I'm like sweating. No, it's not for you.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
I'm gonna just go.
Spider-Man is not only my favorite superhero movie, it is my favorite movie. I've seen it a million times. I
For
know
real, or you just
every
saying that to
line.
win?
No, I absolutely
All right.
feel that way.
More than Star Wars?
The Sam Raimi first Spider-Man, yeah, more than Star Wars.
Wow.
I said it. But no, I know like every line from that movie. I love how campy it is. I love how seriously it takes itself despite how campy it is. It's got some great dialogue, great performances. So if somebody like appreciates that one, then I appreciate them.
All right, we'll hear more. Alicia.
Well, I think Amelie gets unfairly tarred with a too quirky kind of brush, but it is such a sweet movie. It's got a great heart to it. If a guy told me that this was his favorite movie, I would melt into a puddle on the floor just like she does in the film, because it's a movie that I watch time and time again, over and over and over. And plus it would indicate to me that he is interested in checking out foreign films, that he's interested maybe in French cinema, that he's interested in just movies that are outside of the box, and also that he has a really romantic, sweet side to him. So not only could we watch it together, but it does open up more possibilities for the kinds of films that we could watch together, because that's what I do, is I sit at home and watch foreign films. So to me, to find someone who says that, would be extra special. And I think that's a thing. Like, I think for both of these choices, it's like, great, you like movies. But for Amelie, it would be like, wow, you like specifically that movie? Then that shows to me that you are really interested in the kinds of things that I'm interested
This is
in.
a fascinating question. I love our answers because they're all personal choices. But help
Yeah,
me
they here.
here.
are personal, yeah.
Help me why you think this one really does, for anybody out there to sort of say, this is the one you want your one to like. Help me
Well, I think Amelie is a good film, and it's a fantastic film, but I think that's more geared towards you, as opposed to both her and I choice are geared towards what most
disagree.
most people would want. You know, like, you know what I mean? There's a
Alicia,
whole
you're not like the
generation.
others.
Remarkable partners, okay?
I'm a unique
No, I'm just saying,
snowflake.
like there's a lot of people whose Amelie's not their favorite film,
But,
and a lot of people who
Tony,
Empire Strikes Back
it's
is a
about
lot of
the
film.
one.
Right, but that's the
So
one
don't
for
you want
you.
the
Mine's is the
one to
one,
be
and mine has the
special?
possibility that
Not
more
just like
people.
go to Star Wars Celebration. You can find a million ones there if that's your.
No, it was
criteria.
empty. I was there.
There's
It was
so
just an
many
empty
women. I've got
warehouse.
so many friends
so
who are
weird.
great women who love that movie because
Be
it
honest,
is the best.
you did do that, and all their favorites were Empire Strikes
Yeah,
Back.
it was, yeah.
When you went
It's like
when you
there's
went on
so
speed
many
dating,
people.
we did an episode with
So,
her. She did
I
Star Wars
mean,
speeding, and they all said
that's
Empire.
the point.
Many
I
choices
No,
to
but
be
those were
there.
all men, Andy. Those
Yeah,
were
but
all
it's all the
thought-
men said it, yeah.
It doesn't signify the one.
Right.
Like
Well,
the soulmate one. I mean, I get it that you
it's
guys
something
could
that
share
can
things
connect
that you love.
and
but there are
then
so many
create
people
the
that can do
possibility
that.
of the one. As opposed to yours, it's like, for me, I'm thinking about it for the general world. You know, I'm not thinking of it for myself
Well,
personally.
I thought it was a personal choice.
I'm
It is a
thinking of
personal
the
choice.
world,
It
but
is-
they have to pick my movie.
No, it is a personal choice. But at the
gift of how to
same
find your
time,
life partner.
like there's more people in common with mine that would choose
Yours is
mine.
I would say all three of these are popular movies, but yes, Empire is the most popular movie. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes,
Okay.
that more people would have if they were answering this question.
Got
they would
it.
answer the same.
Is that a
question.
good thing? Do you want your one
Yeah.
to like the most popular movie? Guys.
Well, I mean, it's not popular. It's just it's my point. My point here was that more people, if you ask them this question, they would probably answer with my answer as opposed to Amelie
So
or
he picked
Spider-Man.
an answer with a higher success rate.
got it.
So I mean,
But
also.
we picked the like the special.
picked
Why is that-
special
Alright,
but that's
gems.
special
Noted.
because you're
That's
going.
all.
Why
It's
is the why?
fine.
So why do you want one with a lower success rate? Why is that better? That's what I'm just trying to
Because
spark
the
our
idea of the
conversation.
one
You can find someone more
is
particular.
it's so
Yeah.
romantic to think of an idea of a soulmate, that there is possibly one person out there that you could share your life with, Jake Gyllenhaal. And you know, I think if you
Hates
can really,
Emily. I'm sorry.
I think, you know, if you do, if someone turned around and it seems like a scene from a movie, you know, if someone turned around and said that was their favorite movie, it would be like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're the special one. And so I just think it's much more special when you choose a film that wouldn't be everybody's favorite film rather than films that are very popular.
Right.
I mean, you have a higher success rate of finding. You'll find many ones.
Give me a little
which
bit
is
more.
great.
Why Spider-Man? Why is that the one that's gonna
I
aside from
feel
your own
like-
personal choices? Beyond that, why do you think that's a
I
good
think
one?
sense of humor is so important, and I think that one kind of indicates someone's sense of humor. I would assume that people that like the Spider-Man Raimi trilogy have a level of self-deprecation that I like, and I think a lot of people that like the Raimi movies pick Spider-Man 2, which in my opinion was not as good as the first one.
So it's a taste.
get the
thing
higher
there, right.
specificity
Yes,
there.
even higher specificity. Give me why is yours the most specific?
Well, I think it's more because it indicates what they could possibly, you know, be open to. I mean, I've dated people that haven't been interested in seeing anything other than, you know, what's on at the cinema and what is the mainstream American movies, and it makes it really
Amelie's pretty
difficult because then I
mainstream,
can't
though.
share. It's mainstream for foreign,
It's
so
the
that's
most
why.
mainstream French film, so.
Yeah, one. It depends on what you're saying. Like people would say breathless, or you know, but
Intouchables.
yeah. And so it's like, you know, but for me, for that indicates not only that they're interested in foreign film, but also that they have this romantic side, which is important to me to have someone with a sweet
All
side.
right,
to
this
them.
is a hard one to judge, but last point I'm going to make. If you couldn't pick your own, which of these other two would you want your person to say?
If
If
had
you
to
couldn't pick,
these
if you had to
two,
pick between Empire Strikes Back or Spider-Man,
hard
for
because
Jake
I think,
Gyllenhaal to
like-
like, which one do you want him to like?
I would probably say Empire Strikes Back because I think it's a better film.
Better film. Okay,
Like,
interesting.
And it's an iconic, you know,
If you
classic
want
movie.
your Jake Gyllenhaal, whoever your Jake Gyllenhaal out there is,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
you want
he's your
him
That's
to
just
like-
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Do you want him to like
Everyone's just
Amelie
Jake
or
Gyllenhaal.
Spider-Man?
I'm going Spider-Man.
Oh.
Well, I mean that's more of just a personal choice for me. But also, I just think it's like, you know, that's a movie that I can engage with. I'm a bit of a nerd, and for that to be
Going
accepted,
nerdy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
fact that that's accepted is great.
If you
I
your
think
Jake
you
Gyllenhaal.
know what I
Yeah.
must pick.
Empire
My Jake
Strikes Back?
Gyllenhaal is Tobey Maguire, but I would want him to pick
Who
Star
would-
Wars.
So you'd pick which one?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, got it. All right, that didn't help me too much, but I was just
No.
curious.
Yeah,
All right,
it's hard 'cause it's so
Dan,
personal.
anything to add there,
See, that
or
was
any fun
exactly
picks
what I
from
was
the rest of
gonna
Twitter?
Yeah, I was looking at Zane Adams. Zane Zwiernik said, for me, it's The Godfather. Shows they are a patient movie viewer and like action and drama and
good one.
enjoy deep stories. And looking at the viewer poll, I think it either supports or undercuts one of these arguments. So I'll tell you what it is.
It's a tough one to judge because it's so specific.
Yeah, I don't know what the viewers
personal.
were voting for exactly, but
which movie they connect to the most.
Exactly.
Well, so I was trying to go broader, and you guys helped me with the broader, and I do think the specificity. Did I do that right? Specificity helped. Yeah, I think Tony, you got lost a little bit for me of just like it was so personal, but you picked the most popular movie, which I think sort of. Yeah, I see what you're saying there, but then it's like I liked their arguments. If you want to go even more niche to sort of make sure they really have those connections with you, because everyone likes Empire. But so that's right. I think based on these arguments, well, that's not my personal choice. Amelie and Spider-Man gave me weird reasons. Spider-Man's an odd choice, but you explained why very well. Because if they like Spider-Man 1, then but most people like Spider-Man 2 better. It's the higher rate, the sense of humor, self-depreciation, and then yes, Alicia definitely. Outside the box a little bit of the choice. It is definitely more of the mainstream of foreign filmers, but it's the more romantic side. So I'm torn between two. I want to go to the fans. Guys, give me some thoughts here. Anything you heard there that helped sway your argument?
Well, I think Alicia had the best point against Tony and just kind of knocked him down for the whole Empire Strikes Back doesn't narrow it down. Jenny made a really good point about people who like Spider-Man 1 over Spider-Man 2 really does kind of narrow things down. But Alicia made a lot of good points that it's kind of not normal for someone's favorite movie to be Amelie, so that really does narrow things down. So I think she made a better argument for why they would be the one.
Devon, quick thought?
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely want to go a little bit more specific. You know, as much as I'd love to argue the Spidey trilogy with the one I love, I want somebody that really understands me. Like, Nightmare's my favorite, and I want somebody that likes weird stuff, too.
Dan, anything you want to add to this debate?
I would agree. It's as I said, I don't know why it's hard for people to vote on a personal question. I do think it was a personal question, and I would also, I think, side with Alicia. She gave for me the most reasons for her specifically why that would be the one. So I think I would choose.
That's where I was leaning. You guys solidified it for me. Alicia gets the final point. That means Alicia, Jenny are our final two. Tony, though, bravo, very close. Hey, you don't need a win. You're in a hit movie this week. Come on, you're the one who really wins today.
Oh wow!
Everyone go see Homecoming. They're all gonna see Homecoming. I mean, I don't have to even plug it, do we?
Hey, probably not.
Yeah, a lot of them are seeing it. Anyway, I will plug it. See it. It's very great. And Tony, stick around because now you're gonna help judge this.
Yeah, I know.
With these two. Here we go. Both in a speed round. Alicia, Jenny, you know how this works. You'll get 20 seconds, then you'll get 10 seconds for your rebuttals. You got to think quick. If you both say the same answer, it's whoever said it first.
Oh, Jesus.
And then you have to pick up another one if you said it second. Any questions before we begin? Cue the speed round music. Let's do this. All right. This is a broad question.
Okay.
What is the best movie to watch when you're tired and know you won't make it to the end?
You're tired.
What
Probably
movie
Remember Me.
Oh, the Robert Pattinson movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you're tired and you know you
But you
won't
pop in when you know you're not going to be able to
make
finish
it
it.
to the end. I'm gonna
Talk about
go.
specific.
Yeah, this is difficult.
Talk about personal.
Yeah.
You're going to have to help judge, so listen carefully.
I'm listening.
I'm gonna go with the personal choice again and say Fight Club.
Fight Club. Oh, interesting.
What,
Okay.
you missed the twist.
There, save it. Ready? Here we go. 20 seconds begins when you begin speaking. Go ahead, Jenny.
Remember Me is a pretty by-the-numbers romance, kind of Nicholas Sparksy, and then it ends with Robert Pattinson dying via 9/11 in the Twin Towers. So I think that anybody who's into that genre of movie is not going to want to stick around for the last 5-10 minutes. So I think that one would be vastly improved by not having an ending on there.
So he just stays alive.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Time's up. Alicia, 20 seconds.
When I'm tired and I know I'm not going to make it to the end of the movie, I want to put on a film that I know about, the film that I've seen time and time again, a film that feels very comforting to me, and that is Fight Club, which I know is a weird choice to say it's comforting, but it really is to me. I love David Fincher. I love his movies. Everybody knows that twist, so it's not like you're going to wait to the end and be like, what happened? It's one of those movies that you can just put on, and no matter where you jump in the story, you'll always get it.
10 seconds, final. Go ahead, Jenny.
Even if you know the ending twist, I think seeing it play out is like the most satisfying part of the movie, so cutting it off would ruin it a little for me.
Okay. Alicia, 10 seconds.
I have no idea what Remember Me is. I've never heard of it or seen it, and I think that it doesn't sound very interesting. So I'd rather
right to sleep.
Yeah, I'd rather put a film on that I've seen before if I'm not going to pay
All
attention
right,
to
Robert
it.
Pattinson and the girl from Lost, right? What's her
I
name?
don't know.
Emily de Ravine.
Emily Tureen. Yes, that's all. I never
Oh,
saw it.
wow.
I can picture the poster. All right,
Yeah.
that was it. Time is up. But Tony, based on those arguments, where are you gonna go?
It's a
I have
weird
to go
choice.
Alicia.
Very different choices.
Alicia. Okay, why?
Yeah, well, I mean, she touched upon like the twist we already know, and then she hit upon it slightly, but it made sense to me that it's like you've already, and watching it again, you know the twist, so you can see little more details, which you can then see, even though since you already know the twist is happening and it's gonna come.
All right.
As opposed to this, I didn't really hear much about.
Oh, I did.
anything
Well,
more.
I'll say I did. I was going with James because I thought she did give me a book. I don't want to see him die in 9/11. That sounds super depressing. Let's live in the romance.
offensive.
And then, I thought there was a good point there. Plus, the twist is satisfying, even though I know it. I want to see it again. So I was leaning towards Jenny, but let's hear what you guys think on the couch. Quickly.
It was a crafty fight by Jenny, but you gotta go with Alicia. The
Wow.
rewatchability, the ones you've seen a million times.
You agreeing?
Yeah, I think Alicia made the better argument for why it's kind of the comfort watch for her and kind of gonna rock her to sleep, I guess.
Dan?
Oddly enough.
I agreed with it also. All I got from Jenny was just what happened at the end of Remember Me, and
You
I
wanna
thought
miss
Alicia
it.
made a stronger. I think Alicia made a more compelling case for like why
To
she
actually
would put
fall
that
asleep.
on to not.
I didn't know all
All
our
right,
judges
look, I'm
liked
gonna let-
9/11.
Yeah, no. Well, I think no.
I'm playing
I mean,
to the wrong room here,
I,
clearly.
I'll agree to the verdict because if you all felt that way, that's fair. I'm not always right, so we'll give
It's okay,
Alicia
you're
the
a
first
patriot,
point.
Andy.
I'm a
But,
weird bird. I
I-
fall asleep to.
I just felt a lot of
Great.
personal reasons from Alicia, where
Right,
Jenny
right.
gave me more specifics. But anyway, it's a rewatch movie, so good point. Alicia gets the first one. Here we go. All right, you just got a new Blu-ray player. What movie do you buy first?
Oh.
Spider-Man.
All right.
I am gonna go with another weird choice, but Stalker
Stalker.
by Tarkovsky.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wow.
I'll tell you why.
All right,
Don't worry.
you're first though, Jenny. 20 seconds begins when you begin speaking.
It's my favorite movie. That's the whole reason.
15 seconds still.
It's really good, and everyone loves Spider-Man. It has some good lines, and it's a good film. I recommend it in high def
High def.
on
because-
Blu-ray. Special features, good music videos. I think there's a Nickelback music video that comes with it.
Oh, wow. It was really downhill until you got Nickelback in there. Alicia, 20 seconds.
Very specific reason why I chose this is because they've just done a Criterion re-release of this film where they've added a whole bunch of extras to the Blu-ray. It's a restored version of the film, which looks incredible. Tarkovsky is an incredible, experimental, crazy out there director who creates these existential nightmares. And Stalker is one of these films that I want to see restored.
10 seconds, Jenny.
If I buy a Blu-ray, I'm gonna want to watch it a million times to justify that. I feel like I'd watch Stalker once. Spider-Man, you can watch up to 1,000 times, and still have it be good.
1,000. All right. Alicia, 10 seconds.
1,000.
I think Spider-Man, it doesn't offer anything new being on Blu-ray. There's nothing specifically exciting that comes with the Blu-ray. Nickelback does not sell me at all. In fact, that kind of turns me off. Sorry, Nickelback.
It's blue like his suit.
What's that song? The Nickelback song? Oh, it's the Remind Me song, right?
I
Is that the one from Spider-Man?
It's the hero.
Oh, it's here. Oh, it's here.
It's so good.
That was
So
a good soundtrack.
It's a good song.
All
I have
right,
the CD.
Tony, let's go to the couch first this time. Thoughts based on that argument?
If she would have brought in the better aspects of the soundtrack, I would have went Spidey, but Alicia laid
Macy
it out
Gray.
why Blu-ray would make Stalker better.
I was really waiting for kind of the effects of Spider-Man, how that would be that would benefit in the high def Blu-ray. I got a touch of it, but need a little bit more. Alicia gave a lot about why the Blu-ray was something special.
Tony, your thoughts?
Likewise, she just came
Alicia
in with
gets it.
details.
It's a good movie.
Because I really want to
Alicia
buy it.
gets
It's
it.
on my
Yeah,
list.
we got if you'd used those little extra seconds a little more, you
It's,
got too late. Took too long to get to Nickelback.
Took too long to
Get to, well, hopefully in the
Said
third.
no girl.
All right, here we
Forgot
go.
about that Nickelback
Number
song.
3. What franchise? I'm going to name an actor. You tell us what franchise they should join next.
okay.
Okay.
God.
What franchise should Tony Revolori join next?
Really?
That'd have been really fun if you'd gotten that question.
I would have loved. I know exactly which one I would have answered. I'd be like the one I won.
What franchise should Tony join next?
Dark Universe.
I'm gonna go with Fast and Furious.
Oh, okay. Wow, I cannot wait to hear this.
My God.
Tony, you're gonna have to judge it. Your vote. We might be able to overrule your vote though, depending on the turns.
Universal Pictures is getting Tony Revolori.
Either way. Yeah. All right, Jenny. Why are we putting Tony in the Dark Universe? And how?
He made a lot of mean arguments against my points, so I'd like to banish him to the Dark Universe. I would see him playing maybe the creature from the Black Lagoon's dweeby brother, who's also horribly deformed, but doesn't have as much skill with the ladies. Yeah.
All right. Wow. All right. So interesting tactic there. That's the first I've seen, but I'll accept that.
Yeah.
Alicia, why are you picking Fast and the Furious?
I think so far, Tony, your filmography has been too good. We need to kind of just take it down a notch and put you in a silly, fun franchise. I want to see you against Vin Diesel. I think that would be hilarious. I want to see you with the Dom. I want to see you try and make that script into something really good. And I'd love to see you driving cars. I think it would be awesome. See you in more of an action movie.
All right, now use your 10 seconds. Why don't we want to see the other one? Tell me in your 10 seconds. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Wait, sorry, Jenny first.
He couldn't wear a rubber suit in that one, or say lines like, "I'll get you, wolf man." And that's a career maker.
Alicia?
Yeah, I feel like this is a personal vendetta Jenny has against Tony, because I think that would be a horrible use of his talents to see the Dark Universe, and I don't want to see any more Dark Universe.
You don't think he could do it well?
I think he could try, but yeah.
Wow.
You don't think he's a good enough actor to do
Apparently,
that?
Tony, let's hear your thoughts, and then we'll outrule you or agree with you.
I'm just curious what I did wrong. That's just
Watch the show.
Okay.
You'll see, or won't see.
Yeah.
No, you were great. But where do you want to join? You want to take Jenny's mean
Tobey
Dark
Maguire
Universe
in my
pitch?
house?
No,
Or
no.
Fast and the Furious
You know
and
what?
take a low
No.
Personal opinion aside,
creature
I
from the Black Lagoon or go against Dom?
I would love to go Gundam. I want to play a villain, so I
well, they're
would
both
go
villains.
They're both villains.
Are they really? I don't know anything about the creature from the Black
Universe
Lagoon.
fan.
He is a villain. All right, but you're picking
He's
Dom.
the
All right, doesn't matter what he
Dom.
thinks. Let's overrule this.
Yeah,
What do you
that's
think?
true.
Fans, what do you think?
I imagine Tony as a like an intern to the Fast Crew that eventually turns on the family.
Love it. Love it.
Ooh. All
So
right, so you guys like him in Fast.
I really like the vengeful argument.
I did too.
That was an interesting
Yeah.
route. And I didn't hear as much about how he's going to make somehow the Fast and Furious
Yeah,
movies
he just
good.
is
That
going to
sounds
go
like a
against
pop
Dom,
and
which
pass.
sounded a
Gonna
little
go
confusing.
against Dom.
So I'll go with the vengeful.
I gotta say the vengeful was
Yeah.
interesting for me. Dan, you'll break the tie here.
As a seasoned fighter, I like to keep the gloves up a little bit. I thought that was a bit of a low blow, and I don't think the creature from the Black Lagoon speaks.
No, it's his brother, dummy.
It's his doobie brother.
Right, but that's
Well, if we're allowing personal
I said
things,
it was
then I
his
vote for
brother.
Alicia. Just can't be done.
Oh man, you gotta win all the judges, and you didn't, Jenny. I was with you, but 3-2. Alicia, I think she won.
She did.
Alicia wins! Wow, you won the Spider-Man show.
that was really hard. And not the Spider-Man questions. Obviously
Bravo,
people don't
Alicia
like
Malone.
that.
Tell us again, when will you find your book, and when's it on sale?
It comes out the first week of August. It's called Backwards and in Heels. It's the history of women in Hollywood. I worked really hard on it, so please buy it.
Please go buy it. Go check it out. You can pre-order on Amazon. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Alicia.
Thank you.
Next up, Tony. You got this weird movie coming up this weekend?
yeah.
Boss
it's-
Baby? What is it again?
It's called Fast and the Furious. I play the creature from the Black Lagoon. No. I go watch Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's
Yeah.
out tonight. Please go show your support because
If you're
it's a
watching
small
on Saturday,
indie
yeah.
movie.
It's a small indie movie.
And it needs your love. These small indie
indie
movies
director
are dying.
though, man, he got a big break.
Yeah.
Huh?
No,
He really
I
pulled
love
it off.
Cop Car.
I mean,
It's great.
you saw the film. You know how small it is in terms of how big it could have been. So I think that's what people are gonna really love. So please go see it.
Yeah, please
They
see
will.
it.
Also, please go buy this book. This sounds
thank
amazing.
you.
You're not
Thank
going to
you.
support Jenny
Well,
after what she did
thanks.
do, or are you going to be the better
Thanks.
man?
I just
I got you a job, man.
as a creature in the Black Lagoon.
These roles are hard to get in Hollywood.
Yeah, you play his
And
dopey
please,
brother.
everyone go see. What was it? Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
See?
Watch yeah, good job. All
Millennium
right.
Falcon, that screen
Jenny, yes, Millennial Falcon,
So
on which will be
sorry.
jumping over to Screen Junkies main soon. You'll be watching the new, but yeah, and then
Yep.
they can find you on YouTube, also on your
Yep,
channel.
just my name, Jenny Nicholson. I'm also on other social medias.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's
Jenny,
it.
thanks for bringing it today. Dan Merle at MerleDan on Twitter, and you got the fight next week live here, 4 p.m.
This
on
time
YouTube.
next week, we may have a
Ooh.
new Movie Fights champion. Who knows? And I'm fighting for the Ultimate Schmoedown belt as we're airing tomorrow.
Yep.
But you can go check that out. It's so lots
Wow,
of
all the
championships.
belts are on the line.
Championship week.
All the belts are on the line.
I could have no belts except for TV fights at the end of this 7 days. So we'll
I'm
see.
excited to see
what
that.
happens.
I'm excited to see what happens. It'll be a very interesting show, and I have some twists in store, so you'll want to stay
boy.
tuned and tune in live. It's
I
going to be a
can't
lot of
even
fun.
think, yeah.
Tom, Devon, thank you so much for coming. I hope you had fun watching today's show.
We had so much fun. I've been watching since the
loved
start. I mean, it's been a blast. I mean, this was a dream come true for sure.
Thank you, man. Tom, anything you want to plug?
Well, you can find me at Road Raider 3 on Twitter. I do a YouTube show called Cars and Popcorn where I have a guest on and we talk about the cars as characters from various movies and TV that they select that's special to them. So check it out. You can follow me on Twitter and I talk about it all the time.
Oh, good. I thought you were reviewing movies and cars. I was going to say, careful.
You know, it's kind of
Don't do that. Devon,
Bad idea.
anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Jesus12. I'm writing articles for Geeks and Gamers, and then I have my podcast at Jesus Take the Reel. It's a talk show. Yes, double pun life. It's about movies and life. Alicia's been on before, and
Yeah, it's fun.
it's a good time. And we just
awesome.
play games and tell stories and talk movies.
Love it. Thank you guys so much for coming, and make sure you guys enter our Screen Junkies Central contest at screendunkies.com/SJ Central to sign up, and maybe you'll join us at Comic-Con. Thanks to Samsung for doing that at the Chromebook Plus, and thank you all for watching at home. We will see you next week for the championship battle live 4 p.m. Have a good one.